Right, so some genius at Polyphony Digital decided having 1000 horsepower cars racing around Trial Mountain Circuit was a genius idea, and to be fair, it generated a fuck ton of mayhem, and the absolute amount of mayhem is crazy. You have about 6 cars going into this corner alone, nearly not even a second apart, so that's one thing that I have to wrap my head around. And the pure amount of competition is crazy. So, you know, it's 26 and that's the first round of the Gran Turismo World Series Nation Cup. And in simple, they basically took cars from the Midnight Club and they put them here. They're all tuned to do 350 plus kilometers an hour, and the Porsche itself has about 900 something horsepower, so that's a fuck ton. Now, going into my first qualifying lap, I had genuinely no practice on a track. This is literally the first time I drive the car on the track, so you can see, obviously, I have no idea where to put anything in this car. Throttle, brake, turning, nothing. So it's gonna be a bit clumsy of me trying to learn the car as we go, because literally that is my first lap. Okay, you can say second or third lap, but still in the end, my total amount of practice is 4 minutes, 27 seconds. To say I am fresh to this track is an understatement, because I'm not even ripe. So this is literally me learning the track on the go, trying to see where I can put the car and where I cannot put the car and all that kind of stuff. Usually it takes me at least 30 minutes of practice to get a track, so I'm literally super speeding the practice here. And to be fair, for a 5-minute practice only, or a 4-minute 52 seconds practice, that's pretty good. I wouldn't complain too much. Again, could be way worse, but it's not even the best, I'll be fair. So going into this hairpin-like corner, I still don't have any braking reference to whatsoever. There is no bollards. The only braking marker there is a tree that looks the same as all the other trees, so I have to memorize it as I go for a skill issue and smash straight into the barrier, because of course this car has way too much horsepower for this track, I'll be fair. This car has way too much horsepower for any track with curves, but to be fair, it does not handle bad. I actually quite like handling it. You just have to be very patient with it in every way possible. And this car takes so much skill to drive. You cannot be a normal Joe Schmo. You need to be an actual skilled driver to drive this car track combo. So as I wrap around the final 2 corners, you can see me going for a skill issue. Literally no idea where to put the car. I have no flow, no rhythm. I managed to put the throttle that's spinning out on the end of the corner, on the last corner there, and I finished my lap in position, 10th position. That's what I qualified for. So you can see pretty much everybody is in the Porsche but one car. So as the cars line up, the clock starts ticking, it's lights out, and away we go. First thing you do once you spin the throttle down is you upshift, because if you don't, you're gonna top out, and you're gonna top out in first, second until third gear. That's when the wheels really start going, and that's the main con of having too much horsepower. You really have no idea what to do once you're under 4th gear. As I kind of smashed into that driver, nothing too major, just a little tap that kind of forced him off the way he was going. But again, it's nothing major, given that I have literally zero practice on this track. Still learning the track as we go, and I'm surprised I managed to make 3 overtakes by now. But I guess that's mainly due to people still also exploring the track, as I demonstrate an absolute skill issue by ramming into the British driver up ahead, which will gain me a 2-second penalty for colliding with another car. So yeah, as I also push him off the track once again, I tried to go for an overtake but really didn't stick. I really never driven a street car on this track. I mostly only drive GT3 cars on this track, or Super Formula. Never have I ever driven a street car, so this is a first time for me, and that's why you can see me being so awkward, as 5 cars go within 1 second of each other. 6 cars now. If you look at the radar, you can see it's absolute mayhem. And going into that corner with 5 cars in like almost one pack, and now with 3 across, and then you can see the radar, 7 cars popped in the radar, all within 1 second of each other. That's absolute mayhem right there. So somehow I managed to get into P4. That's absolute magic right here. I have no idea what I've done. Aside from obviously ramming into that driver, I'm gonna have to serve the penalty. But to be fair, I feel like it's undeserved. I feel 1 second is deserved, since the driver didn't really die of death. He's still very much alive and is still in the mix. So as I approach the final chicane to end the lap, my hopes and dreams of retaining P4 kind of vanish away, because the penalty line is right across the chicane. So as you know, I'm still exploring the chicane. I have no idea where to break even, and I'm turning. I'm very clumsy with it. I clear the corner, and you can see the 2 yellow arrows, meaning that I have to serve my penalty here. And now I'm watching all the cars overtake me as I go back into P9 right now. I'm not sure if the driver up in P10 is far enough to catch me, but I don't think he's catching me at all, as you know, the GTR overtakes. I sent another overtake down the GTR, and that was a fatal mistake, as I go for demonstrating a skill issue and ramming into a wall and basically spinning out. yeah, I call it quits. That was not my race at all. So into the second race, here's the qualifier once again. I got in my 30-minute practice, so in terms of confidence, I'm infinitely more confident. So we have the Spanish driver up ahead, and I'm trying to make sure he's not an issue at all, but I didn't even have to deal with him. He dealt with it himself. He was like, okay, here is the position, sir, and gave pretty much no resistance. So that's a pretty good thing for me. Anyways, we're going through this left-hander right here, which is actually pretty much, you can say, my favorite corner on this track. It's very nice, and this track overall is just an amazing track to drive on, I will be honest. So it's very fast and flowing generally. It doesn't have much tight corners, and the only two tight corners are actually the chicane. The rest, they're doable in third gear, and again, they're very fast and flowing. And again, this is just a beautiful track to drive on. Only the fact that the chicane is actually, in my opinion, fucks it up a little. And the fact that I'm driving a 1000 horsepower car here is not... It's cool, but I don't think it's fun. I mean, it was very fun, just not very easy to stay calm. And you really need a bunch of practice before you even think of doing this race. Again, purely because you don't want to make a repeat of what I have did in the first race. So as I go for the last third of the track, or last section if you want to call it, I'm treating it more as a banker lap compared to a push lap. I really want to just set a good time. I'm literally aiming for pole because overtakes are really easy to do on the track. I just want to get a good position. That's pretty much about it. And you can see the two drivers up ahead, they're also very good, and I don't think they're pushing to the maximum at all. They're still very good drivers, but they're very close to each other, and I'm not really in the mix with them right now, so I cannot benefit from the slipstream, and I'm not looking to push harder because, again, it's a banker lap for me. Overtakes on the race are very simple and easy to do, so position, I think as long as you're in P6, getting into P1 and then a lap is very easy. So as I go and set the qualifying lap, I'm in P3, so that's very good. Meaning I could pretty much jump into P1 in one corner actually, depending on track, but this track is difficult to do in one corner. As the cars line up, the clock starts ticking, it's lights out, and away we go. Once again, fully focusing on shifting the car. First thing I do, after that lights go out, you got to shift into second, because staying in first, you're just losing time. And that's why, I get the jump on the Danish, I think it's the Danish driver up ahead, yeah. I'm looking to mount some pressure on him in hopes of him making a mistake, and that's the mental side of it. As another driver, Dutch, if I believe, he's trying to put pressure on me as we're going in a pack of five cars into this corner. I managed to almost set it into P1. I'm very close to P1. Again, here's the thing, being in third position, you can pretty much jump on the first guy, and that guy, the Tweety, I think he was fifth, and you can see him now, he's rolling in P1 with a penalty to serve, so it's gonna be easy for me to overtake him once he serves it, and launching an overtake on him before he serves the penalty is also not a hard task, especially that I have a slipstream down here up into this very long straight and then into that very fast and flowing corner. Slipstream is vital here, but he got a better exit than mine, and I don't think I'm close enough for the slipstream, or I'm just about the edge of the slipstream, not close enough to make a significant difference. As again, I have no brake marker for this corner. I look at the braking flash thingy, the thing that says the gear. I look at the gear indicator, and as soon as it starts flashing, I slam on the brakes, basically. I have not a single indicator, because my indicator for that corner was a tree, but there's like 1,000 different trees. As he goes and demonstrates a skill issue, I jump into first, I jump into P1 in the first lap, and now all I have to do is maintain it until the end of the race, and I basically won. But in order to finish first you have to finish, and finishing is easier said than done once again, purely because this car, skill issues are very easy to make, and it's very easy for, again, overtakes to be sent left, right, and center. As the Czech driver, I think that's Czechoslovakia or something, I'm not too good with these Balkan countries. He gets the jump on me in the chicane, and now I'm chasing him into the first corner. I have the slipstream and he missed the shift, so I basically regained that position immediately. And now we're gonna have a nice and what seems to be a long battle, because he shows no signs of backing down. He's again staying very close behind, not attempting to overtake just yet. I feel like he's trying to mount the pressure, as he made a slight mistake which led him to go way back, and that just gives me a bit more of a cushion, a bit more of an error margin, so that doesn't put as much pressure on me. And it just overall makes me more comfortable with him just not being in the picture. Now, again, I'm fully focused on driving clean and retaining P1. He wants to get close to me, great. I will defend like Alonso in Hungary 2021. Again, once you're put in P1, you kind of control the entire race. You set the motion, you set the move. If you're pushing really hard, everybody behind is gonna attempt to push harder. And if you're not pushing hard, everyone behind is gonna be more relaxed. That basically you control the race from that point on. So as I accelerate down the long straight, you can see Czech driver just behind in the slipstream range. He's going to be getting closer and closer and closer. And you can see he's pretty much nearly on my tail by now. It's just not close enough to send an overtake, but he's going to attempt for it anyways. And that's where I could go for a sort of switcheroo. And once again, I just have the control of the corner, but he has the inside of the next corner up here, and he starts to push me, and I had basically nothing to do but smash into the wall, purely because of that little tap. Again, the thing with these cars is the tiniest of errors will send you into the wall. You have to be very, very, very precise to stay on the track. And that's the general theme of this entire race, not just the car. This car has no mercy, so there is no room for error, and you have to be very cautious, as I demonstrated an absolute skill issue and how toxic this car is by, you know, just flashing the rears a little bit. The car won't hesitate to kill you. You have to be very cautious of it at all time. So I pretty much lost all the progress I made, and you can see the driver up back in P9 now is trying to send an overtake on me down the inside. Pretty much again from P1 now into P8, gonna lose it to P9. I lost everything I attempted to build in this race, and I no longer control the race, I no longer control the motion. As the Austrian driver right behind, he's gonna sit on my slipstream. So surprisingly, he's not sitting on my slipstream, he's looking more on the inside of the next corner. I think he's gonna attempt to send an overtake, but no, he does seem that he's more chill about it. And to be fair, I was pushing a little harder than he should, and that's why he did get very close to me. And now you can see him attempting to send, he's all over my rear end, and now he made the overtake successfully. So again, I'm just gonna try to get more comfortable with the car once again. After losing the rear, I do lose a lot of confidence, so I'm just trying to regain that confidence, as I nearly lose it to another position, but he goes for an absolute skill issue. No idea how he did that, but he somehow did that. So as I'm going through this corner, I'm getting just a little bit closer to the driver up ahead, and I'm gonna be very focused on the exit of this corner. So I'm just gonna go in, stick to the inside, switch in the 4th gear, and just power all the way through. I made a mistake while powering it out, so I couldn't catch up to him in front at all, and you can see him just about expanding the gap. And again, there is not really much I can do, so I'm just gonna, you know, put my head down and just very, very much focus on my own race. I'm not even, if I get anything above a V5, I'm happy. So I'm no longer looking for the win anymore. I just want to not lose any points or any sportsman or driver's rating. That's the goal as of now. But I'm a man of opportunities, and if I see an opportunity, of course I will take it. So I'm getting very close to the driver up ahead. I'm pretty much faster than him. So I'm just gonna look for the earliest opportunity to send an overtake, and it presents itself right over here. He attempts to block me, but he didn't see that I'm kind of halfway through, so he did hit my car. And I do go through for the overtake. As I see a yellow flag up, I had no idea what happened. But I'm into P8 right now. You can see him, German driver now. He's trying to send the overtake down here, but I have the inside of this corner, so not really much he could do. But he did go for a switcheroo, which was a genius move, and it was the Austrian again, not the German. The timing board's kind of messed up. You know, it went up and down, and I was kind of confused. But yeah, now I'm back in P9. So once again, put my head down, focus on my own race, make sure I play everything right. So I'm pretty much faster than him, but he knows how to fight really well. So I'm gonna be focusing on making him make a mistake and just getting closer to him, as he does make a mistake right here. Pretty much a golden overtake opportunity. I go down the inside and I'm pushing very nicely. I'm making sure that he does not get an optimum angle on me, and make sure that he stays controlled and behind. So I'm going very smoothly, blocking all the overtaking opportunities while also not going fully defensive. I'm capitalizing on the fact that this section of the track is very tight and he has very little rooms for overtake, so I'm very focused on making sure he does not get a flow that allows him to overtake me. I have no idea how to like properly convey the message to you, but you need a sort of rhythm to make an overtake on the track, and that's sort of what I'm trying to tell, but I don't have, or I don't know the word for it as of now. So now you have two Spanish drivers up ahead, and one of them is really close, and you can see I braked a little late, or maybe he braked a little early. No, he definitely braked early, so I'm pretty much on his bumper, and he kind of went into the wall, so that's an easy overtake for me. Didn't even have to try. Up into P7. Somehow really great after having that crazy spin. To be fair, this is a race where a mistake from at least everybody is guaranteed. Even at a higher level, a lot of people still do make mistakes, and at my level, which is second to best, yes, we do make a lot of mistakes here. It's a race where you can guarantee everybody at least makes half a fuck up, or in my case, it was a full fuck up. But again, other drivers are having a horrible time too there. It's not like they're all sunshine and rainbows and flying off in the sunset. They're all still very much struggling with the cars. As I go for a nice kind of drift, and somehow didn't lose my rear end there. I kept it nicely controlled, and now I'm on the next Spanish driver, which I'm gonna look to overtake as soon as the opportunity presents itself. So starting lap 5, going into turn 1, you can see he just disconnected for some reason. No idea what happened, but hey, that's another easy position. Now up into the Portuguese driver who's up in front. And very conveniently, yellow flag displays itself. Who could it be that had spun? It was a German driver driving the Mercedes. Another easy, very easy overtake up into P5. Again, it's a race where everybody's at least guaranteed, like everybody is guaranteed to make half a fuck up, and half of the people are gonna make a full fuck up, at least in this rank or competition level. As I'm looking up into the Portuguese driver, you can see he's not very far up ahead, and given my consistent pace, I could actually catch him by the end of the race. So I'm trying to not make any fuck-ups, as I do go to serve a 0.5 second penalty for crossing the track limit, and that plays very nicely into the German driver, and now he's going to be doing the overtake purely because he served the penalty, but I'm still very close to him, so it's not like he's getting a golden ticket. I can still fight it, and you can see I'm sending another overtake into this corner as a yellow flag displays itself. Who could it be that spun as we are fighting me and this driver? It was the Danish driver that spun, as me and the German are having an absolute battle right here. You can see him very close behind, trying to put a lot of pressure on me, trying to overtake here and there, but I'm making it very difficult for him, and like I'm widening my car as much as possible, making sure he does not feel comfortable tipping his nose where he shouldn't be. As I take advantage of this tight section of the track, I make sure he's just not having a good time at all. And sending overtakes here is very easy, but it's also very, very easy to defend fully on this track. So I'm playing it not even fully defensive, I'm playing half defensive, semi-defensive, and it's still very effective. You can say it's 90% of the effect, but you're not losing as much time. You're only losing, you can say, 10% of the time compared to if you are normal racing. And that's much better than the 30% of the time than if you're going full defensive. As you can see, German driver is going very close behind. I went for a fully defensive position, making sure he does not get any sort of advantage right here. So I'm making sure now I have the inside of the next corner. I set it up perfectly, and now I'm on the upper hand going into this corner, and it's a very difficult corner to make an overtaking move here, as he does get very close, but again, it's super difficult to overtake there. And once again, I'm widening my car as much as possible, giving him a really hard time, giving him pretty much zero chance to overtake, just making sure he stays nice and behind. So now I just, continue to piss off and make sure he doesn't catch me at all. And now going into chicane, I usually expect everybody to send at least a dive bomb, and you can see him nearly sending a dive bomb, but he wasn't close enough to, get on my inside, so I don't worry about it at all. And from here on until the end, nothing really much happened, to be fair. So I will do what any reasonable human will do and basically skip to the end of the race. You can see as I go to the chicane, the Portuguese driver is quite far ahead, and the German driver is also far behind, so I end up in P4, and I did retain the position for P4. And again, this race is actually such a good race. You should do it, but by the time this video is out, there won't be any entries into this race, so yeah. At least you have this video to give you the feeling of what was like.